Hey guys, welcome back to the live stream. I hope you guys are doing good this Sunday. How you guys doing today? Can you guys hear me good? Can all you guys hear me? I hope you guys are doing good this Sunday. We're sorry for being late. We had a little bit of technical issues, but I believe Taco got it all together. How you guys doing? Can you guys hear me good? Everything sounds good? All right, you know the drill. We got to wait at least 1 or 2 minutes to let the rest of the people join before we start the first topic. But today we're going to be talking about something interesting like we do every Sunday. We're talking about Metro Boomin. For those of you who don't know, Metro Boomin's a music producer. He's one of the biggest producers in hip hop. So let's give a few seconds for people to join. But how's the weekend been going for you guys so far? Everything's good? And we're also going to be talking about something interesting when it comes to the Boys in the Hood movie. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have seen that movie, but some very interesting stuff happened to one of the actors a part of that movie. So we're going to be talking about that as well soon. Let's just give 1 minute for more people to join. So before we start, they don't miss anything out. Let me spam some topics that you guys would like me to talk about real quick. Anything that you guys want me to get into after the topics that I have. And so I can, we can talk about that as well. And also let me know how you guys are feeling today. All right. Give it one more second and then we're starting. We're just waiting. All right. The first thing we're going to be talking about is the music producer Metro Boomin. For those of you who don't know, Metro Boomin is one of the biggest producers in hip hop. He dominated the 2010s. His beats were making countless hit songs. By the end of the 2010s, entering the 2020s, sorry, it seemed that Metro's time was coming to an end. There wasn't that many people looking for his beats. He was getting placements, but he was no longer on every hit song. He wasn't a go-to DJ for, the hot artists anymore. Metro was approaching the end of his lit years and was soon going to become a memory of a time span. I believe this frightened Metro, and most likely he wasn't trying to give up his time in the limelight. Now, we already know that to reach a certain level in the music industry, you must pay a dark price. Like Kanye West said himself, you must make a sacrifice to receive everything the music industry has to offer, really. And it appears that young Metro was met with this very choice, either to lose it all or pay the ultimate price to have the world. If you've seen my previous video on Metro Boomin, then you should already know that it appears Metro Boomin is an occultist. And if you know anything about Metro, then you should know that he incorporated the Masonic all-seeing eye into his record label branding. His record label is called Boominati, and basically is the all-seeing eye symbol is what represents his record label. So he wasn't trying to hide his affiliation there at all. It's an obvious reference to Masonry. And when these celebrities talk about the Illuminati, we know they're speaking about the Masons, when that reference is a reference to the Masons. Metro Boomin has used these Masonic symbols to represent his record label because he's a Masonic puppet. In many music videos, we can find Metro throwing up the all-seeing eye, just like all the rest of the celebrities, showing that he took the Masonic oath to have the world. In his music video for Space Cadet, Metro routinely throws up the all-seeing eye symbol. There's even a scene where Metro is with Young Thug, and we all know Young Thug is a confirmed Freemason. And there's a scene that appears to be that they're actually in a Masonic lodge. You can see the checkerboard floor on the ground. They have the women in the scene. So it's a clear representation of a Masonic lodge. It's obvious Metro Boomin took the oath. It's the reason he wears the Masonic symbol so proudly. Like, why else would he why incorporate his record label with these symbols? If not to show his affiliation. Even in Metro's recent video, you can see he literally puts the all-seeing eye in the middle of the dance floor. He has his video with Ian Connor, and I believe, I don't remember the other artist exactly, but in that music video, he's literally on the dance floor dancing in front of the all-seeing eye. He shows the main artist walk out of a pyramid, clearly indicating that they're Masonic puppets. This imagery, Metro is purposely putting it out. It's because he sold his soul and took the oath. Like we cannot make any more excuses for these artists. The ones that are using these symbols, the ones that are using this imagery, they know exactly what they're doing. As I mentioned earlier, Metro was fading away at the start of the 2020s. Metro hadn't really been making any noise, and many people forgot about him. His time was coming to an end while he was still a young producer. He wasn't he didn't reach the levels that he would want to have reached. This is when I believe Metro was given a choice to either lose it all or have the world. Metro could be back on the charts and be the go-to producer once again as long as he made a sacrifice. Strangely, right before Metro Boomin was making his comeback, his mother would pass away in a very shocking, mysterious situation as well. It wasn't something like, it was just her time and she passed. It was a very shocking situation. According to the news reports, Metro Boomin's mother was taken out by her own husband, who was Metro's stepfather. The police have no idea what happened. They just think that for some reason, Leslie Joanne, which was Metro Boomin's mom, was taken out by her own husband, and then her husband ended up taking himself out right after. And months after this happened, Metro Boomin dropped his album Hero and Villains that was full of strange imagery. Most importantly, the cover itself for the album, it showed Metro Boomin making some sort of deal with a burning version of himself. That cover art clearly indicates that he took the oath. It's a perfect representation of someone making a deal with the devil. This imagery depicts Metro making a dark deal to have the world. In his promo for the album, they show a scene of Metro grabbing his all-seeing eye chain out of a magic fountain that gives Metro superpowers. The reference to the Masonic order was endless. Like his chain is the Masonic symbol. It's the Masonic all-seeing eye. And he used it in the music video to depict like what was giving him this superpower. The imagery was clear that Metro was making progress in his Masonic journey. Strangely, all this was being shown just months after what happened to his mother. This album turned out to be really successful for Metro as well, but was it at the price of his mother? Ever since this happened, I've kept my eyes on Metro because it just seems so strange that a situation like this would happen to his mother. It was something that it rarely happens. You don't really see people, go out in that manner, especially when there was no signs prior. There was nothing that really led to this. It just seemed like something that happened overnight. Metro never mentioned his mom having any, I know some people like to keep their information private, but usually when it's a celebrity, someone that's well known, people would know at least that this was, that there was a reason for this to lead into that, for his mother to have to go through that or something in that sort. But it just seemed to happen very random. It seemed to happen one day to the next. Recently, like I said earlier, he dropped this music video that showed the all-seeing eye in the whole entire video. He accompanied this video by posting some photos on his Instagram that shows him in some very interesting attire. In this photo, Metro Boomin is doing a well-known Masonic pose that represents the Master Mason. Let me see if Taco could get the picture up right here. This picture right here is him crossing his arms. He can be seen wearing a mask as well, and the mask has the Knights Templar's cross on it. While crossing his arms against his chest, he's representing he made it to the degree of Master Mason. This is the pose that Master Masons do once they get initiated. He could be seen wearing a mask with the Knights Templar's cross on it, and he's crossing his arms together. This symbol shows that Metro just went up in Masonic degrees and is now the Master Mason. He has most likely chosen to study the Knights Templar rite, which is within Masonry. It's like once you pass the master degrees, the Master Mason degree, you're allowed to now be able to learn about the Knights Templars. You're not allowed to learn about the Illuminati or the Royal Ark or all these other rites that are within Freemasonry. So it appears that he chose to become a Knights Templar, which is why he's wearing this mask and he's showing this imagery. It's obvious Metro Boomin is going up in Masonic degrees, but what did he pay for all of this success? Was his mother's mysterious passing connected to all of this? Is he just showing this Masonic imagery because he's into it, or does it have a connection to what is going on in his real life? We have to be honest with ourselves. He was not really making any music. It was not showing any progress for a while. It appeared like he was creating beats here and there for some songs that were getting placements, but it wasn't like Metro Boomin back in 2010. And it was that moment in his career, like Nori said, where he reached those doors. It's either you take the left or you take the right. You have to make a choice. In my opinion, it does seem like it could be connected. I have been watching the situation since it happened, and I fear that there's 100% a connection there. It's too much going on for it not to be connected. We know some of these artists are willing to do anything to have the world. When these artists take the oath, they can be chosen at any time to make a ritual offering. And it seems to me that Metro was chosen and he made that very offering. And this can explain all this Masonic imagery that he's been showing recently. Now, I want to know what you guys think because this is important also. I want to see how you guys see all of this imagery yourselves. I don't think it's a coincidence that Metro Boomin was fading in the background. He wasn't that go-to DJ no more. He wasn't that go-to producer. His limelight, his time in the limelight would pass. And then his mother ends up passing away before he makes his musical comeback. He's literally showing all this new Masonic imagery. He's always had it in his image before for a while now, but it wasn't as present. It was really just a record label symbol, and that's about it. But mostly Metro Boomin was in the background. We saw Metro Boomin hanging out with The Weeknd a lot as well. He was even in The Weeknd's Blinding Lights music video, and in that music video alone was full of satanic imagery. You know, he also hangs out with Young Thug a lot. Him and Young Thug are super close. Young Thug's another known Freemason that he has admitted to being a Freemason, didn't even try to hide his affiliation, said this to the world, let the whole entire world know that he was a Mason on purpose. You know, he was proud to admit this to the world. So it's obvious that Metro Boomin, he's connected to everyone that seems to be Masons. He's using all the Masonic imagery. He was then fading away. He paid this ultimate price, which it could be a possibility in my opinion. And now he's back on the charts. His last album, if I'm not mistaken, went #1. It sold what it needed to sell. He definitely made progress. I don't think that this is just a simple coincidence. And like we see him in this entire video that's being shown on the screen, he's doing Masonic symbols the entire time. Not a single time was he trying to hide it. And then these are the same people that would act like they're upset when they get called out for being Masonic puppets. You can't be upset for being called out for being a Masonic puppet if you're showing all the imagery that clearly shows that you're a Masonic puppet. You know, sadly, a lot of people that are blind, they simply can't see the truth for themselves. But when you have everything in front of your face like this, you're denying because you're afraid to admit the truth to yourself. You know, a lot of people, they might like these artists and they idolize them, and they don't understand that they're idolizing them because they refuse to accept the truth when it comes to these artists. But no person that is not affiliated with any of this would be using any of this imagery. There would be no purpose for them to use this imagery as it doesn't represent nothing but what I'm talking about. When you throw up the Masonic all-seeing eye, or when you cover one of your eyes, or when you're doing all this and you're putting this imagery in, you're trying to tell people I'm affiliated with the devil. I'm affiliated with a organization that wants to take over the world because it has so much power. They do it because they know that people are interested in them. They know that people are gonna gravitate to them. So they're using these symbols because they know what it represents. They want that. They need that, and that's how they've gotten to where they've gotten. They wouldn't be where they're at if they didn't have this help. I honestly know that there's much more talented producers out there than Metro Boomin. But Metro Boomin was chosen. He was the one that was given this opportunity, and he was the one that was taken to the next level. You understand? If it wasn't for Metro Boomin, then, you know, not for Metro, if it wasn't for the Masonic Order, Metro Boomin would just be another producer. His story, it sounds very industry plantish as well. If, like I spoke about him before, he was hanging out with rappers at the age of 15, 14. His mom would drive him over and he was introduced to all these big rappers, and Young Thug was one of those rappers since the very beginning, and Future as well. These big artists that are a part of the industry and shown that they have taken the oath. Denial is what's going to keep us asleep. Denial is what's going to keep us on their path, in their grasp, in their control. If you deny all of the imagery, you're playing dumb for them to take advantage of. They're looking at you like you're something that they can take advantage of. They literally don't need to respect you. They don't need, there's nothing for there's no reason for them to ever tell you the truth because you're showing them that you're just sheep to be hurdled. They can lead you whichever direction they want to. We shouldn't let artists be this open with it and then just deny it to ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves. The imagery he's showing on Instagram, he's literally depicting himself showing that he is a master mason now. Now he's able to climb in degrees. This is important because a lot of people don't understand. When some people say, some masons, they try to throw people off by saying that there's only 3 degrees in masonry. Yes, there's only 3 degrees in the Blue Lodge. There's only 3 degrees in the Blue Lodge. And once you pass those 3 degrees and you're a master mason, now you can become a Scottish Rite, Freemason. You can become a Shriner. You can become a Scottish Rite. I think I said that already. You can become Knights Templars. You can become the Illuminati is literally a rite within Masonry. All of these rites, that's when you can pass degrees even higher. You can go up to the 30th degree, 33rd degree, and become a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Master Mason. And that's when they allow you to know all of this extra knowledge. This is what they're trying to accomplish. You understand? That's what Metro Boomin is showing us. And then even if we look at the Hero and Villains album cover, he's depicting himself making a deal. That imagery, a lot of people said it looked like a reference to a different album, but it was still chosen to prove that he's made a deal. He's taken an oath to get to the next level. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. If you guys are seeing it, let me see in the comments what you guys think below. It took me some time. I didn't really want to talk about this as soon as it happened because it is a personal situation and I don't want to just say things if I'm not certain, but I waited and I looked into the imagery. I looked at what he was been releasing and it's him showing himself accepting this, him showing himself that, yeah, he paid that price, just like Kanye said. And that's another thing. I also, like, I've said this a few times already. I don't know how anybody can deny what Kanye said if Kanye said it out of his own mouth. And he didn't seem like he was trying to troll or lie. He seemed very honest and remorseful for what he had to pay to be in the industry. And a lot of people still tend to deny that he paid that price to get to where he is. He was willing to do it at a certain point because he wasn't where he is now. He had to get where he is now. And that price for him was paying his mother. Once he did that, he made it to the next level. You understand? And now we're going to see with Metro Boomin. If I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope Metro Boomin didn't do this. I honestly wish that I wouldn't even have to think like this. But the problem is, we know that this is what's happening. If you wanted to deny it yourself, you can definitely deny it to yourself. But we've seen this routinely. We've seen so much strangeness when it comes to specific people within the industry that make it to a certain level. We've seen it time and time again. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the imagery is just something that he uses because he's into dark stuff. But I honestly think that that's a dumb way to think. If he's using the imagery, it's because he is a Masonic puppet. He's showing the people that he took the Masonic oath. I want to know what you guys think below before we get into the next topic. Any questions you have on this situation? I'm gonna be looking through the community chat now. I mean, the chat now. Anything that you guys think about the situation? If you think I'm wrong, if any of you think I'm wrong, I'm here to see why you think I'm wrong. Anybody have anything to say about this here before we move on? All right. So let's go on to the next topic then. Now I want to talk about the story of one of the actors a part of the mega hood classic movie, Boys in the Hood. I am confident many of you have seen the movie Boys in the Hood. I myself watched it when I was younger. And one of the most memorable parts of the movie has to be when the character Ricky Baker is taken out in the alleyway. That is most definitely the most memorable the most memorable part of the movie. The scene shows this actor hanging out of the car. He pulls out and then he blasts Ricky in the back and they scream the famous line, Ricky, this is a famous scene. And even though the actor who takes out Ricky wasn't that famous, what happened to him is highly suspicious and strange. The actor that played the knucklehead number two in the movie, which is the person who takes Ricky out, was named Lloyd Avery. Lloyd Avery was a young actor who had several small roles in a few other movies, like he was in Poetic Justice and Don't Be a Menace. Lloyd's story is very interesting because it appears that he grew up in a good family. He was a part of a good family household, like they had everything that they needed. They lived in the suburbs. But after he acted in the Boys in the Hood movie, he moved out of his family home and then moved into a neighborhood that was ran by gangs called the Jungle. He moved into the middle of the ghetto to act like he was ghetto now because he was a part of a movie where he had to act like he was from the ghetto. So he himself would eventually join a gang and started committing crimes to climb the ranks. Even though he wasn't from that environment, he was from a good family home. He was a part of a you know a he had a good promising future ahead of him. Lloyd became the character he portrayed in his movies. He would eventually be arrested for taking two people out in a drug deal gone wrong. So he actually took people out in real life. He took people out in the movie and then went on to take people out in real life as well. He was sent to prison after this, and he was sent to life in prison in December of the year 2000. He was found guilty of all of the crimes that he was convicted for. And the only thing that came positive out of this is that it said while he was in prison, Lloyd found Jesus and turned to God and became basically the local prison preacher. He tried to guide others who have made mistakes like him to find Christ and redemption, which is a great thing. You know, we see that often where people end up going to prison and they turn around, they start giving their lives to God, they start preaching and start helping, other people see the truth as well because they themselves have found the truth. And that's actually a good thing. A lot of people like to make fun of these people, but it takes you being at your lowest point to realize that you were going the wrong way. And if you can honestly make a change and turn your life around, you shouldn't be demonized about that because you made mistakes in the past. You should definitely be honored and rewarded, and people should respect you for it. And that's exactly what he was doing in prison. In prison, Lloyd was known for his devotion to God. And it went so far that they even started calling him Baby Jesus. He was, always preaching in the jail and in prison. Sadly, when it appeared Lloyd was making progress and had made changes, the most disturbing thing would happen to him. In 2005, while Lloyd was serving his time, he would be introduced to his new cellmate, an inmate that was referred to as the Satanic Christ. Literally, his name was the Satanic Christ because he was a Satanist. They had introduced Lloyd, or Baby Jesus, to Kevin Robbie, otherwise known as the Satanic Christ, and they put them in the same cell. And sadly, it did not end well at all. According to reports, Lloyd was trying to convert Kevin into Christianity, and it would not end well for him, as Kevin decided that he was going to use Lloyd to send a message to God. On September 4th, while Kevin and Lloyd were unattended, Kevin would attack Lloyd and then ritually offer him to Satan. He said he sacrificed him to send a message to God. All of it seems so strange to me. It made me feel that there was more to the story. It was actually one of you guys who recommended in a previous live stream that I speak about this, and he actually went over on Discord, commented on the Discord for me to look into it, and I looked into it, and I'm glad I did because this situation just doesn't make much sense to me, and it's very eye-opening. Hollywood seems to be corrupt, and we know that. Lloyd was a good kid when he got into Hollywood, but he didn't end up a good kid. Somehow he ended up on the wrong side. He ended up becoming a gang member. He ended up leaving his good family to become an actor in Hollywood and then also to become a gang member because that's who they had him playing. When he did everything he did and he paid, he did all the crimes he did, he ended up getting arrested. The devil truly took over his life. That's when he found God. He found God at his lowest point, and he became a preacher at that point, trying to get his message to other people that were in the same situations as him. And then it appeared that right when he was working for God, that's when the devil attacked him. That to me was very interesting, especially if you think about it. In prison, why would they put a person that was known as Baby Jesus, as a person that was spreading the gospel, a person that was trying to help others see God in the same cell as a someone that was called the Satanic Christ, someone who was known for the complete opposite. It almost, in my opinion, appears that someone in that prison system wanted this to happen, or something much darker ended up happening to Lloyd, because at the end of the day, you guys tell me what you think. You think that this was just a coincidence, that they just happened to put these two people inside of a cell together, all coincidentally, and then leave them alone for enough time for this man to do a whole satanic ritual on him? That doesn't make any sense to me. That right there speaks for itself, and I believe that he was targeted for whatever reason. Honestly, if you think about it, this could be directly connected to his Hollywood, career. Maybe those he had when he maybe he took the oath for that Hollywood career, and when he tried to turn his back on that oath, when he tried to turn his back to God, he tried to turn his life around to God and turn his back on the devil. That's possibly when they saw him as a problem. Because I don't understand why else. It doesn't make sense. This is what had me the whole time thinking. I said, what would be the purpose of them allowing this attack to happen on him? It just doesn't make any sense. If he truly wasn't trying to, if this is something that happened so long after, it wouldn't make sense for it to be connected to his acting career, but then for it to be directly tied to the occult, for it to literally be a Satanist that sacrificed him, that to me blew my mind, and it spoke for itself. What do you guys think? You think that he was set up, or do you think that it was just wrong, wrong time, wrong place? It does happen, it does happen sometimes, but are we really going to be that ignorant when it comes to a situation with a Hollywood actor? Not necessarily a big actor, but he was still a part of the Hollywood system. And out of nowhere, he ends up sacrificed in prison. I don't think that's a coincidence whatsoever. And I feel that he was taken out for the purpose of turning to God. He was one of a main, not a main character, but he definitely had an important role in the Boys in the Hood movie because it was one of the most memorable parts. So many people remember that part of the movie, and it's what's memed and it's what's all over the place. So the fact that he's the one that's in this part, he's the one that ends up becoming a gang member and all this, and then ends up in prison being sacrificed when he turns to Jesus. That just doesn't make sense to me, I want to see what you guys think. The story is very suspicious and interesting to me from the moment that I saw it. It definitely poses the question of what truly happened that day. And it also poses the question of, if he was set up, was the guards in it? Who was involved? How was this able to happen? It's the same thing like when we think about the Jeffrey situation, or also the Aaron Hernandez situation. These people, the way that they were able to be taken out in prison, it just doesn't make much sense. Like, prison is one of the most secured, guarded places in the world. We have security, we have the cells, we have the cameras everywhere. Everything is set up so that if something does happen in prison, it'll be able to be recorded and it can be, seen, and it doesn't go unseen. But the thing is, it usually, when situations like this happen, where like the Jeffrey situation, where it was a high profile situation where it involved someone who was definitely a part of this occult system, ends up being taken out. The same thing we're seeing with Lloyd. Lloyd was a part of Hollywood because he was getting these Hollywood scenes, regardlessly of what kind of scenes they were, whether big or small. He was getting these scenes and he was being put in this position to win. He could have eventually become the next star or the next anything if he would have kept playing by the role. But the thing is, he gets himself arrested. He turns to God. He turns away from the devil, and then everything goes away. And not just everything, but they come after him at that point. It's very interesting to me, and I should possibly make a full video on this. If you guys would like a full video on this, let me know below. Now I want to get into some questions. Any questions and topics that you guys want me to talk about, or anything that you guys want me to touch on. For those that are joining the stream now, If you guys want to watch the stream from the beginning, you can start the stream over. We talk about the Metro Boomin situation that is going on now. He's been posting some interesting pictures, and he also dropped a very interesting music video. So if you just got in here and you want to see the Metro Boomin stuff, just start the stream over. Right now, we're going to be answering any questions and any any ideas that you guys want me to talk on. This person said, talk about the mysterious death of speaker knockers. I think that's very interesting. What happened to speaker knockers to me was also strange. You know, he was a very young kid, and I believe that he was just found gone, and he was already passed. Like there wasn't really any if I'm not too familiar exactly with what his cause of death was, but I definitely felt that situation was also odd. But there isn't that much evidence when it comes to speaker knockers, because speaker knockers was still relatively underground. But I can definitely look into it and see what I can find when it comes to speaker knockers. Yeah, I see some people saying that it was a heart attack. Joshua Shorter said 22G's recent music video. I don't. I guess he wants me to look into that. I'll definitely check that out next. Someone, Jackie Tyro, said, "What happened to Jamie Foxx?" I've been seeing a lot about Jamie Foxx, but I'm not seeing anything credible. So I'm not really gonna say anything on that situation until there's something that is actually truly that's truth. Because I've seen a lot of clickbait and a lot of people that are just using old clips of Jamie Foxx and trying to connect it with some new stuff to make it appear something like something. But I don't think that the situation is what people are making it appear. I'm definitely gonna look into it some more and see what I can find on that. Anything else you guys want me to talk about or any questions? Talk about the gatekeepers. I've done a few videos on the gatekeepers. You know, we spoken about the three major record labels that run the music industry, and that's basically the gatekeepers right there, and that's Sony, Universal, and Warner. So those are the three record labels that run the music industry, and you can say those are the gatekeepers right there. Those are the ones that run the industry, and then you got the smaller gatekeepers, the ones that are influential men in hip hop, like Diddy and Jay-Z. And you know, we've also spoken about them. There's a few videos on Diddy on the channel. You guys can definitely check it out. Any other questions? Any other concerns? Someone said talk about Travis Scott. We've spoken about Travis Scott a few times, so you can definitely look into that on the channel. Explain the cross brain and all seeing eye. I've already explained that in a different live stream, and I also explained it in my video. You can still catch the video on the second channel. It's a Q&A. You can go click on that and you can see the explanation there. I've already explained it. There was like 1,500 people here last time that I explained it, so some of them should remember and tell you guys yourself, or you can just go watch that video. Someone said Jack Black. I recently spoke about Jack Black. He was very interesting. He had a bunch of satanic imagery, all over when it came to his career, for sure. Any other questions? Any other concerns? Let's see. Talk about Met Gala tomorrow. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about the Met Gala. I want to see what's going on. I try to look into the Met Gala, and the problem is that there isn't that much information in there, really. Like they want to keep it private, and they're trying to make it appear like it's not such a big situation or anything. Like it's not something that goes on. But in my opinion, I feel that the Met Gala, there's a reason for its exclusivity and secrecy, and there's no cameras and this and this and that. So I definitely want to see what I can find, but I don't know how much I will be able to find when they're literally keeping everything about it a secret. The only thing that you can really know is what they want you to know when it comes to the Met Gala. So other than that, I can't really say much more about it. Someone said WWE Part 3. We can definitely make that happen. Epic A Heck, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. And their questions was thoughts on the show Lucifer. I've only seen 1 or 2 episodes, but we know exactly what the show Lucifer is. It's just them painting Lucifer in a good light, because that's what I got out of it. They were trying to make Lucifer seem like he wasn't the bad guy, or that he wasn't evil and he was actually saving and doing, I think he was solving crimes with a detective. It was just the dumbest show ever. But yeah, like that's just how you see they want to associate Lucifer with good. They want to present Lucifer as he's truly this good person, or this good deity that is misunderstood. But in reality, we know exactly what it is. It's just more mind programming that is being pumped out by, I think it was a Netflix show, if I'm not mistaken. What's this person's name? Carmado. Carmado always. Thank you for the $2 donation. I appreciate it. Miss Castellina or Castellino. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate it so much. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Jamie Foxx, the movie. Let me see. Let me see. Any other questions? You do politicians? No, I do not do. I don't really like to cover politicians because it's just, I think all politicians are nonsense. And I think that politics is just a giant program, just like everything else, just to keep people distracted. It isn't really controlling anything. It's just a way to keep people entertained and keep people thinking that they truly have some power, but they don't have any power. We know who really has the power. That's why I avoid politics, because I'm not going to buy into any of the facade. It's literally just a facade. It doesn't matter what side you pick, it's all ran by the same people. Um, some This person said, "Want to hear some more music from Truth Records?" Yeah, we're gonna have some music coming out in the summer for sure. Um, we're gonna try to sign another artist as well, but we're definitely gonna be releasing music from the two artists that we do have signed. We just have, realistically, I'm not gonna deny that we have taken a break because of the expenses, and we're waiting for you know us to be able to raise back up some good enough money so we can get back in the studio and get back to spending, and this way we can get more music out. I'm not gonna deny those two songs alone were in the thousands of dollars to make. It was a lot of money spent to try to get those two songs. And I appreciated that so many of you guys showed so much support, and I was actually surprised, but I miscalculated. I was expecting it to be self-efficient. So if I would have dropped songs, the song would be able to allow us to make more songs, but it wasn't like that. So I have to be able to save more money to get back in there and just make more music for you guys. YC, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. And they said do a video on the UFC. If you guys want to see a UFC video, let me know below. I did the boxing video. I saw a lot of people disappointed in the video. Like, a lot of people liked the video. It was received mostly great, 98% like ratio. But what I mean is that the people that were wanting to be boxers misunderstood me. They thought that I was trying to come at their sport. But if you want to see a UFC video, let me know below, and I'll definitely get into the UFC. Um, I'm gonna just say always thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. All right, and then Andre MTZ, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hold on. Do you think there's any correlation between Jason David Frank's passing the Green Power Ranger and him not wanting to do the new Power Ranger movie? That's his question. That's a good question. I never really looked into it. I heard about his passing when it happened, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like I can give you a direct response to that. But I don't think so. I think that he definitely probably had some issues or something overcame him, and he possibly did that, or it could be way more to the story. I just have to be able to research it and look into it to see. But from right now, I'm not going to be able to really give you a 100% on that response. Let's see. Any other questions that you guys want me to answer? Any other concerns? Do a video on tacos. I think they're coming at you, Taco. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Um, any other questions that you guys want me to answer? or anything else, you know what? I'm gonna be here for the next 10, 15 minutes with you guys. And we can chat it up and we can talk about anything you guys want me to talk about, anything that you guys think I need to give my opinion on. All right. Anything. Talk about. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people, especially on social media. This person said, talk about the bodysuit the entertainment puppets wear, like Will Smith. He's Tyler Perry. I don't believe that really. I've been seeing a lot of people bring that up. I don't think that people are swapping. I think that we have to be careful with the misinformation. Seriously, because yeah, there is skin suits and stuff like that, but I don't think that there's people jumping into different people's skin and are acting like other people. I've already seen a few people bring that up, and I honestly think that's nonsense. So I know the Masonic order is real. You can literally see a Masonic lodge in every corner. You can drive around your neighborhood now and you'll find a Masonic lodge. So you know they're real. And we have factual proof that we have Masons that have been presidents, Masons that have run England, Masons that have run the world, Masons that are in high power right now. That's where the truth is. These people that are running our world are all a part of one club together. You know, there's this video I saw on Instagram that's very interesting. It was like a gigantic Masonic meeting, and it had like at least 10, 20,000 Freemasons. But it was such a huge event. You would have think it was like a concert for Freemasons. And it was just shown to me on Instagram, and they were saying that Freemasons worship AI. That was the whole post. And I honestly believe that. I think that Freemasonry worship AI because I believe that AI is what they're going to use to transcend from man to gods, you know, in their minds. They believe that with the assistance of AI, they can be as gods on earth. So that's what I see I um when I see that post by that person, that's what I picked up. I felt that yeah, it can definitely be a connections between the Masons and AI, and you know they're the ones that are truly pushing it to the full extent. They're the ones that are behind it, making sure that it gets accepted. What do you guys think about that, though? Do you think that AI is going to be used by the Masons? Do you think that's what? Obviously, they're the ones that are spending the money and the resources and all their time trying to get it done. But what do you guys think? Do you think that there could be a correlation? I'm looking at the chat now to see what you guys are saying. All right, Alex Smith, thank you for the $10 super chat. And they said, glad to see another brother out there spreading the truth of this wicked industry and glad to be a member. All praises to the Most High. May you continue to be strengthened to keep exposing them. Thank you so much, Alex. I truly appreciate you and I appreciate all your support. Thank you for being a member. You're truly helping the cause. We're trying to get more content out, not just content. Like with your guys' donations, we're going to do the music and we're eventually planning on even doing a scripted show where we can show exactly what's going on. And I'm also trying to work on a long form documentary. So all this helps. And I appreciate that you guys are showing support. Thank you so much. Thank you, Epic A Heck, for the $20 super chat. I truly appreciate you. Let me read your real quick. You think Whitney Houston video. You think it's suspicious that her and her daughter just happened to pass in a bathtub? There's even a shirt that says she was taken out by the Illuminati. Um, if you guys want to see a Whitney Houston full video, we can definitely make that happen. 100% because Whitney Houston, a lot of the older stars, it was darker for them. We saw a lot more dark energy, a lot of more darker outcomes happen when it comes to those stars. And I would definitely look into Whitney Houston because she's one of those superstars, those that was definitely associated with the Masonic order because of her place in the industry. And I've always heard that she was taken out by the Freemasons. So I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely look into it if that's what you guys want to see. I'll make sure to do that. And if I find something that's big, I'll make sure to get the content out as soon as possible. Um, Also, Epic A Heck, I don't know if you got my message before. You could definitely meet me on Discord because I want to send you out some merch when you get a chance. I said it in one of the videos. I never got a message back from you, but if you're interested, please let me know. I can send you some free merch for all the support you show. I appreciate you. Somebody said, "What happened to Britney Spears?" I actually did a video on Britney Spears. It's an older video, but it's on the channel. It's actually very old, so I'm not gonna sound like I sound now. That's a lot of people used to say, "Why do I speak this way?" Because that's literally the first few videos that I made, and I was very new to YouTube, and I hadn't had found my voice on YouTube, and you guys actually helped me get to the point where I'm at now, where I sound how I sound and I speak the way I speak because what by making videos over the years, you guys have told me, "Oh, do this, do that." I listened to you guys' advice, and we've gotten to the point where the truth finally has his voice for videos. I'm able to speak and say things where the information is received the best. So definitely, if you want to see the Britney Spears video, it's gonna be an older video, but you can definitely watch it. It's up on the channel. Right. Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, 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 sorry. All right. Video on soccer. We can definitely get a video on soccer. Then I promise you guys soccer and baseball because I found some very interesting information about baseball. Always, thank you again for the $10 super chat. All right, let me read your message. Give me 1 second. Coachella had 2 acts I know of doing a chair dance reminiscent of the Masonic chair dance ritual. Do you care to investigate this and maybe do a video about the chair dance ritual in the industry? Yeah, actually, I can 1000% make a video on the chair dance ritual. I've actually spoken about the chair dance ritual that the Masons do in a Masonic lodge. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, there's a video on YouTube that shows a Masonic lodge hosting a Masonic chair dance ritual. And basically, it's a ritual done by women for the men of the lodge. The women pull out a chair and they kind of do like what seems to be like a lap dance type thing on the chair, but it's not a lap dance. It's actually a Masonic ritual chair dance. So there's actually been so much footage of many different female celebrities doing this ritual on stage. So it'll be good if I did a full video. That's a good point. I'll definitely look into it and we can possibly do a full video. Um, Antonio Jarmilo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Oh, yes, I actually wanted to talk about this. Thank you for bringing this up. What did you think about Alex Baldwin charges dropped? I actually wanted to talk about this because I covered this the first time this happened. Um, for those that don't know, I think it was a year or two ago. Alec Baldwin, he was on the set of a movie. I think it was the movie Rust, and he had a prop weapon that he claimed was a prop weapon. He was shooting one of the scenes when he accidentally discharged the prop weapon, and it wasn't a prop weapon. It had something in the prop weapon that ended up hitting one of the crew people. I think she was a director or something. I'm not quite sure. And the woman passed. Right there, that seemed super suspicious as they were reporting immediately that the weapon was checked by so many people, that there was people on set, weapons specialists that actually checked the weapons and said that they were, I don't remember the exact term that they used, but they said that the weapons were good for use. There was nothing wrong with them. It was like similar to what happened to Bruce Lee's son, right? It was Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, if I'm not mistaken. He also on the set of The Crow, they said the same thing that the weapon was a code weapon. I think that's what they said, and it means that it's not it's good for set. So that means it's not going to happen. Nothing happens if you use it. They used it on the Brandon Lee situation. Brandon Lee passes away. Same thing that happened here in the Russ situation with Alec Baldwin, who he discharges his prop weapon and ends up taking out this person. Back then, I reported that this doesn't make any sense. And let's be honest. Mistakes like this aren't going to happen on the sets of major blockbuster movies like that. It's not going to happen. So it's interesting when situations like this do happen because it shows you that there's something being hidden. It explains to you that you have to look in a little bit deeper to see. Now, a lot of people were reporting that this woman was also a part of a separate movie, a separate film that had to do with let's say trafficking, you know, and she was doing this film exposing, if I'm not mistaken, a ring of people that were doing this, and she just so happens to be taken out in the set of this movie. So a lot of people thought that this was connected or whatever, but when I looked into it, I didn't see enough to truly connect it to. But what I did feel that she was definitely set up for whatever reason. You know, the maybe last minute, or maybe they handed Alec Baldwin the situation, or Alec Baldwin was chosen to do it. Either way, I felt that there was more to the story. And I actually want to know what you guys think. And if you guys want me to make a full video on this, let me know. I'll have no problem making a full video on this. Um, Kimberly Barnes, thank you for the $2 super chat. She said the girl that got hit was the weapons specialist. Very interesting. I didn't even know that. But that's another reason why me, I just felt that the situation spoke for itself. We know what Hollywood is, and we know that the way that rituals work isn't how we believe. Rituals don't work, oh, this person's just going to do a ritual, even though it could happen that way. One person could just choose to do a ritual offering to whatever God they believe in. That does happen. But in the industry, when you take an oath and you join a cult, you're a part of a system that now they themselves sacrifice to whatever God they believe in. You understand? So if they choose you, you are chosen to make a sacrifice. I don't know from that point on if they're willing or not willing, but I know this is how it happens. This is how it's happened historically. In civilizations, they'll be a part of a cult. And in that cult, one family would be randomly chosen. You understand? Or one member would be randomly chosen. So I believe it's the same thing that we're seeing within the industry. Again, thank you, Epic A Heck, for the $20 super chat. Alec Baldwin's situation happened 28 years after Brandon Lee's passing. Brandon passed at 28. See, that's very interesting right there. I didn't even know that at all. Very interesting. I did not know that. Thank you for bringing that up, Epic A Heck. That's interesting because if you think about it, the industry loves numerology and they love using ritualistic sacrifices that are directly tied to that numerology. So the fact that this happened with that time frame, and like you said, 28 years later, it happens again. To me, that's a red sign, and it makes me want to look into it a little bit deeper. All right, let's see. I'm looking at any other questions or concerns. So this person said, people expect rituals to look like a Disney movie. Rituals happen every day in the most regular looking way. I believe it. I agree. We have to remember that there's over 2 million Masons in America alone. Not every single Mason is out here doing these sort of rituals, because the lower the degree Mason, the less they know about Masonry, the less they know the truth. It's when they make it up to these higher degrees when they actually, and this is, Masons use this against us because they try to say that there is no more degrees than the third degree. But like I explained earlier, that's not true. There's other rites within Masonry that do go up to the 33rd degree. So Scottish Rite, you could become a 33rd degree Scottish Rite. And each degree has its own lesson. Each degree has its own information. And nobody knows the degree under them. I mean the degree above them. Nobody knows until they make it to that degree. And no one's going to snitch on themselves. No one's going to give them that information. You have to learn through the Masonic degrees. You know, so for those that think that these rituals are rare, you have to remember that there's so many people within the industry that can be participating in this because there's so many Masons. Let me see what else. Logic and Trippie Red collaboration is suspicious. Yeah, I'd have to look into it. I've not seen it. Epic A Heck said, thoughts on Lucifer the cat from Cinderella. Thoughts on Lucifer the cat. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. Do a video on Rosalia. If you guys would like that, I can possibly do that for the second channel. You guys can let me know below if you guys know who that is. That's a Latin artist, if I'm not mistaken. Do a video on the whole K-pop industry, please. I would have to definitely look into that. Right, do a video on Tupac and Selena. I've done a video on Tupac, but Selena is definitely. I think Selena would be a good video for sure. What do you guys think about Wu Tang? I was actually in the mix of making a video on Wu Tang, and I was actually planning on dropping it on Tuesday. What do you guys think about a video on Wu Tang? Do you guys want to see a video on Wu Tang, or you guys don't want to see it? Let me know below. Do you guys want a Wu Tang video? It's connected to the show. Like there was a lot of Masonic references in the show too. But if you guys want to see the Wu Tang video, let me know because I'll definitely. There's so much Masonic imagery, especially coming from RZA himself. You know, we can definitely do that. And Old Dirty Bastard story. We can talk about ODB story. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. So let me know, guys, below if you guys would like to see a video on the Wu Tang. I see a few people saying yes, 100%. All right, so you guys can expect the Wu Tang video next for sure. And the Malcolm X, the Martin Luther King Jr. situation. If you guys want to see a video on that as well, let me know because I was reading in it a bit deeper, and it does appear that he was 100% a Freemason. He didn't even really have to go through the degrees. He was given an honorary position, which is, strange, Someone said they prefer Big L. We can do Big L as well. I can look into Big L and see if I find anything. I'm not gonna, speak on something that isn't true. So if I don't see anything or there isn't any symbolism coming from Big L, there's nothing much I can do. But I'll look into Big L and see what I can find. Dominique Kalier. Sorry, I can't pronounce your last name. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Will you make a full video on fraternities? Yeah, I promised one on Delta. I forgot Omega. I think it was Omega Sci-Fi. I promised a video on that. I'm definitely gonna get into it. I've been working on long form content, and I started the Masonry documentary. I've been writing a bit on that. So I've been trying to get these projects and also have these videos for you guys 2 to 3 times a week. And also I was sick last week. I got really sick, but thank God I'm better. I appreciate all those that wish me blessings and were sending prayers my ways. Thank you so much. They definitely helped. And I got better pretty quick. I was back on my feet 2 days later, but my voice was terrible for a little bit. And I wasn't able to do that last live stream, but thank God that we're good now. Jay-Z sacrifice. Yeah, Alexis guy would be a good one. Thoughts on Little Tecca? I think Little Tecca kind of fell off, so I don't really see him had taken to the next level or really. He was also, if I'm not mistaken, when he was going up, he was putting up videos saying that the industry wasn't what he thought it was, that he wasn't too fond of it and stuff like that. So, I don't know if Tecca went to that extreme. Maybe he saw what the industry was about and stepped back, but I don't know because don't quote me on that. I haven't really been kept up on him, so I don't really know what he's been doing or not been doing. I want you to start into movies as well. Yeah, I've have a few videos where I look into movies, but the thing is that the people that make these movies are going to say that it's all fiction and they purposely made it to be fiction. So it's hard to show that this is being used as Masonic programming because people just write it off as fiction because it's a movie. So I try to keep away from movies and stuff unless there's foreshadowing that we cannot, not speak about. We have to get into it. All right, we're going to be ending this soon now. We're going to be wrapping up now. Any last questions or concerns before we go? Can we get a video on Sam Cooke and OTS, Otis Redding? Do a video on Messi and Ronaldo, Rosa Parks, Trevor Noah, Hasbala. All right. Well, those are all great topics. I'm going to definitely have D write them down, and I'll see what we can look into, and maybe we can get it on either on the live stream, next live stream, or for one of the videos. But other than that, I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up. I appreciate you all, and I love you all. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.